stuff. Well, they updated it, so I got the all-in-one great big huge poster, and then they wrap it up so it's about this tight. And you lay it on the floor, and it just curls back up again, so. I did, yeah, I did, and then it just, I lay it flat on the floor, and it's now laying nice and snug. That is called liquid death, and I call it, what is it? I can't remember what I call it.
It says it's cherry.
Yeah.
Cherry, it's
cherry. Sure. Some of them are pretty good, and then others are just different. And don't get the one that has teeth. Only get
Oh, that's what I was wondering. It looks
just
like.
get sparkling
That's
water.
nice.
If you get the one that's
Yeah, that's what I.
Put it back so she doesn't.
There.
There.
Just says sparkling water.
Yeah.
I like sports.
Oh, I call it Dr. Death. Andy just dies laughing at me.
I crave
But,
carbonation.
yeah, I call it Dr. Death.
Thank you, Mary.
Carrie and Jason, I do have a couple extra copies up here if you want any of them.
What's that?
What we're going to be discussing today.
I got the agenda.
Oh, that, okay.
Thank you.
Well, we always share finances if you guys want to go back and forth.
Mhm. There's one over there too.
Oh, Christ.
Mhm.
We'll try this again. All right, I'll call the meeting to order. Any additions to the agenda? I have a few, just a bylaw under new business, bylaws, the annual next meeting and annual election. And then we have just two director eval, which we will go over today, just let you know that's gonna happen. I'll meet with Lori and then get her comments, and I'll bring it to the next meeting. Okay, but I just wanna make sure I get that up there. Okay, any other additions to the agenda? Okay, is there a motion to approve the agenda?
So,
Second?
Yes.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed, same sign? Okay, agenda approved. Public comment period. Okay, the public has no comments. Okay.
Did we say that too fast? Or you guys like this?
Okay. Old minutes. I think these were all emailed out, so everybody received them in their emails.
That seems like so long ago, doesn't it? We're talking about October.
Is your approval of the minutes?
I so move.
Is there a second?
I second it.
Any discussion? Any discussion? Is there a motion to approve the minutes?
sure.
Oh, we had a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion, our minutes are approved. Financial reports.
I'll go first, and that's the sheets that I gave you, and there's November and December on both, for what the balances are. And the end of the December's is on the back side. Do you want a copy of that?
So Robin, are you able to see the bank statements and everything when you do this?
I go and get them from
You
the
go
bank.
and get them?
Yep.
Okay. I wasn't sure if you were going in online and doing it.
No,
or
I can't go online on the credit union, because if that is the case, then you won't get a paper statement anymore.
Oh,
I don't want
yeah,
you to
we
keep
don't want
statements. I'm a paper person, I don't like that, everything online. So no, I just go after the first of the month and go get it
Yeah.
each time, and then I look at what you put through and
Okay.
look at the checks that were written and make sure that everything looks like it should.
Okay.
We have one CD that was due in November. We decided not to do anything with that until we find out what's gonna happen with transportation.
Right,
And
and
that
that is, if you look and see, it is put into the savings account and the credit union.
Yeah, that was.
It's in the reward savings in
Reward
December,
savings, yeah.
so that savings account now has 74,535 in it. But 53,621 was the CD.
I have a question about that. We designated that for the purchase of a new vehicle, which I think we have to match at $13,000. Okay, so it's nowhere close to the 53. So do we put that remaining balance back?
I
into
think
the
that
CD?
would be something of discussion today,
Okay,
you know, because we didn't know, we had no idea what the.
and I'm not sure the
Right.
exact,
You know.
only because they haven't told me the final price of the actual vehicle.
Right,
But
but I suppose that would have to be a motion made.
Okay,
Oh,
and maybe we should
Can
make it
our
after I
motion
have a.
before-
yeah, I would say at the end,
Commitment price.
that'd be new business.
Yeah.
In our motion before we put to renew with the remaining balance, the renew a CD.
Okay, good. So we already said that then.
Yeah, that was in the previous motion.
Right.
Okay.
But I wouldn't do it until
Yeah.
you knew
Yeah.
everything that we were gonna have to pay out,
Yeah.
that we've taken care of that before we,
Okay.
otherwise if we need it again, we're gonna be a penalty.
Yeah, we want to do that.
And this following year, 2027, we'll have to replace the other bank, right?
Actually, we are a year behind, so the grants and stuff that I put in for are what they call the 26, 27. So it's 27 years. So next December, I'll be putting in for 28. So we're now 1 year behind. These vans should have been replaced 2 years ago. So I don't even get to tell the DOT which van I want until April when they approve.
So that's something we'll have to figure out where we want to leave it, because we're
Yeah,
gonna have to draw on it again
It might
in
be-
1 year.
And it might just be smart to leave it in, that's in a savings account.
yeah.
Yeah, and the interest rates have gone down,
Mhm.
so by the time you, if you need it, have to pull it out, your penalty might be way more than what you know, you might be wise just to leave it there
Okay,
till we know where we stand.
all right.
Because that could be moved into a CD anytime,
Right.
you know.
So starting in March or January, however we want to do it, we will have a year's now of the records with our current accountant,
Yes.
person or CPA. It would be nice if we could see a year-to-year comparison to see where we're at.
Okay.
From here, if we could run those types of reports, just so that we've always kind of been like, not knowing how we're sitting and where we're sitting.
Sure.
It would be nice to do a year-to-year or a month-to-month, you know, just comparisons to know where we're at, where we're going, if possible.
This year against 25.
25 to 26.
Okay.
Right.
We
And
will
should
let you know.
actually, yeah, 25, 26.
Yeah.
And if we can, just let me know.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea.
Okay. Anybody have any questions for Lori on financials? And just again to reiterate, so all checks going out that are paid, we have matching receipts for.
Yes.
Anything that Lori gets reimbursed for, payroll, paychecks, all that are double signed. Like, we look at the paychecks, the payrolls, and match receipts to any personal reimbursements that don't come directly from a vendor.
Yes, that's how it works.
Okay.
Actually, there isn't any check that's written on either one of the accounts that doesn't require a double signature, yeah. So,
Which cannot be enforced by the bank, but we enforce it.
actually,
You
yes,
know what I
we
mean?
enforce it. And I just got done, the state of North Dakota provides us with a bond. And on that bond, it has a checklist of how we actually take care of our money. And so we mention that we take care of our money by having double signatures. I don't make the deposits. If I count it out, Stacy makes them, and vice versa when she makes nutrition. So we have kind of checking
Checks and balances.
policies that we go back and forth.
Sounds like a good idea.
It is, it's the right way to do it, yeah. This is everything that I sent you guys, now printed out. And so if you have any questions and stuff, Rhonda has graciously said she's in her office and we can call her and put her on speakerphone. So,
Did you get a hold of anybody to do a audit?
starting price $5,000. No, not yet.
Okay.
It's been very low priority on my list due to transit, but yes, I have made phone calls, I've talked to people, and I can't bring myself to pay somebody $5,000 yet. We have to, but and when I say we have to, I'm not even sure that we have to, because there is a rule that states if you make over so much money, from what I'm understanding from both transit and from Darla, if you make over a certain amount of money, you have to have an audit done every year. If you make under a certain amount of money, then you simply have an accountant sign off on it.
And I think that's maybe what they were doing, and that's what that Craig Hansen was.
That's what Craig Hansen was doing, yes. He was simply signing off on the procedures. All of my grants that I put in for at the end of the year, all of them asked that same specific question. How are you doing your final thing? And of course, they all know our situation. I told them that we are under the threshold of the amount of money, and so we are having our accountant do it. And they had no problem with it. I mean, it just, so we do need to, probably for our own personal mind, have this forensic accountant do something. But you guys, it tops out at $15,000. You know, it's going to be a lot of money that we won't have right now.
But I think there was some discussion about leaving that forensic audit portion up to the county commissioners
Yes.
and the state's attorney to decide if they're gonna do that.
Yeah.
Does that sound?
That's what we were.
That's. So I think we should have like an official motion on that any forensic auditing will be handled by the county commissioners and the state's attorney, and we will just follow what guidelines are set up for our nonprofit. Okay. Does that sound?
So I make a motion to what Holly just said. Can we do it that way?
Did you get that down?
Handled by the commissioners and state's attorney. Do what we need to do for the business. Yeah.
Okay, is there a second?
Yeah.
Any discussion on that?
So is this talking about the one that County County did?
Yes.
What they turned over, all that paperwork and stuff that they turned over that we gave to the county commissioners, I think we had talked about would be to spend $15,000, and when she was done speaking, she said there was $2,000 that's unaccounted for. of that money.
Over a 5-year period.
Over a 5 years period, there's $2,000 unaccounted for. I can't see spending $15,000 of our money. If they find that there's money missing, that $2,000, and that nobody goes after, I mean, that's up to the state's attorney's office and the county commissioners, because we turned all that over to them, everything, and have to see them back. Does anybody feel differently? Because it's,
In principle, yes, we probably should, but we don't have the money to do it. And is it wise spending the money, spending 15,000 to get potentially 2,000 back? When we're already going backwards all the
you have to
time.
spend how much on the audit.
It's like, you
Yes.
hate to say it, but it's like, let's cut the loss and go forward, in my mind.
And it's up to the county commissioners.
Right.
And the state's attorney if they want to.
You know, and we'll follow whatever they tell us.
Any further discussion? All those in favor of leaving any previous auditing to the county commissioner's discretion, say aye. Aye. All those opposed? Motion carries. All right, any other questions on the financial report? Do we have a motion to approve December's financials?
Are we approving December's or do we
We like
have?
November, December, right?
Yes, it's actually,
But it's both?
well, no, this is actually, what you guys are looking at is December's financials. And then I asked her to do a January through December
Yeah, but
complete financials.
Where's
And
the
then-
December?
It should be like the last page or something. Let me see what it is. Okay, so balance sheet as of December for.
This year, this,
And then the next one is,
okay.
December profit and loss. And then she did, let's see here. And then she did the FCCU bank account. So the first part you're looking at choice. The second part you're looking at profit and loss for FCCU. And then you're looking at the profit and loss of January through December, going on down through. And this, I have a very small understanding of profit and losses. But what she's done here is, this is Kidder County Council on Aging, and all the entities that are under you. This is your profit and loss statement for both nutrition and transit. So when you look at that, that's what you're looking at, is you guys hold to doing business as under your headship.
So just looking at this custom transaction detail report in December 2025, that's all the checks and everything that came out
in the month of December.
in the month of December. So has everybody had a chance to look at that and have any questions on just that custom transaction detailed report that shows all the checks that came out and all the payments that were made? That might be an easier way to do it than this.
I think so, yeah. Yeah, we're just really talking about December, but I had her do the year-end total for all 12 months. And those first 3 months through March are based on the records that Renee Kipp turned back over to us and she put into QuickBooks so that she could balance the year out.
Okay, I make a motion that we accept the custom transaction report and the balance sheet as of December 31st, 2025.
Is there a second?
Second.
Anybody have any questions? Any further discussion? Any further discussion? All those in favor of the December custom transaction report, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. There's December. We have this continued cumulative report that she prints out. We've approved every month on that.
Yes.
Yes, we can't go back and change it. Unless Raven has different thoughts on that.
No, this was just for us to see it as a whole. Kind of my own personal request.
I think that's going to be better for budget on a yearly basis. I think I'm organized and that's all I admit. I try.
You do a good job, Paul. Keep up.
Okay, director's report, nutrition.
Okay, this eye-boggling report right here, the graph chart, was a real eye-opener to Stacy and I this morning when I finished the final totals. Disregard everything on the left half because that's just simply the numbers that get carried over to the right half. And what you're looking at under the word total is the totals of everybody that ate during those months. Whether they had eating in, pickup, frozen foods, we delivered them personally each day. Those are the numbers and the totals for those months. The second part under Tuttle is a combination of those numbers for Tuttle, Robinson, and Pettibone. Pettibone's on the back side, by the way. Now, as you go across to the right, you'll see the actual number of people served, which is the same for Steele because that doesn't change. But in Tuttle, it changes because there you see the added number of actual served with Pettibone, Robinson, and Tuttle together. The next column is the deposits that we received every month from those places. The column after that is, if you were to take, let's say the top line up here, $1,299.32, and divide that income by the 554 people that we served, that means we only received from those people $2.35 a meal when we asked for a donation of $5. If we'd gotten all of the $5 from every meal that had been served that month, we would have had $2,770. Are you guys following me?
Thank you for doing this.
Yeah. So if you look at the red column, that shows how much money we lost because people cannot afford to pay or don't pay. Either one, doesn't matter to me. We lost $1,470 in the month of February. That means that on the final column, 294 lunches were not paid for that month. So that final column, as you go down through it, you will see how many meals were served versus how many meals were paid for. And down at the very, very bottom of the first page, I have January through December with the totals. Top line is all of Steele, second line is all of Tuttle, Robinson, and Pettibone, and then the actual total of everybody together. So, in the end, we really only make, and I guess, I don't know if you can say you make money off of this, the only amount of money that I can see as a donation coming in is $1.85 a meal for those that do pay. My food costs, if you take all of this together and put it into a month, my food costs run anywhere from $2,500 to $3,000. there is no getting around the cost of food, as we all know. So that means that we really need more money coming in as donations, because in the end, all these meals that we get paid for by the state, and up at the top you see the pink column and the two yellow columns, that's the totals of how much money we make on each meal served to our clients. We have to dip into that money, and that money helps cover our excess food costs, our rent, our insurance, our employees' wages. All of those things that it takes to run this business is done on $8.85 or $7.58 per person. And so it just gives you a picture of what we're up against as far as money coming in the door from the state, and then money actually coming in from our clientele who are able to pay. And then in the end, how many meals a month we simply receive more money.
Very good eye opener.
It is. I was keeping just the first couple columns, and then I went, wait a minute, what is it per meal? And I was on the rat race. So if you guys have any questions or thoughts, let's talk about them. This is just more for you guys to understand what we're up against as far as totals and numbers and money coming in the door from the Title III program.
My thought is, people want to know, this is public knowledge, right?
Mhm.
And when we had that talk with them the other day,
Yeah.
it just, made everything on the line. I mean, because somebody just said to me today, I said I had a meeting, and they said, I couldn't believe when that person had mentioned to them, yeah, they went up to $5 from $3, and it's like,
Well, correction on that, we went up to $5 from $4.50,
Oh.
but that's the true part of the story.
yeah. But, they were like having a fit because it was $5, and $5 is nothing. But this is really an eye opener, and to help, people understand it, to know. But just like, I said, we need your help.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know how these numbers compare to a like county, maybe like, it's unfair to compare to like Stutzman County or
Even Linton area and stuff, things like that. It really is unfair to compare those. I don't know that anybody else does this. This was just something that I originally was keeping track of, just this first left half,
Sure.
to see how many meals we were serving and
Sure.
stuff and things like that. And then the other day, I had to write down a deposit, and I went, let me see how many meals that actually really covered, and how many did we serve that month. And it was so out of whack, I couldn't believe we were paying so little.
Yeah, I don't know if that's the same, as everybody else in our sized community
Yeah, I don't
facing the same. It'd be kind of interesting to know that.
It'd be interesting to see what they recommend a payment, like we're saying $5. If that's what they're suggesting for a donation, or if it's lower or higher, or
I know that Linton went up to $5 one month after we did, and $11 for people that are not eligible for the food program. They did go up to that. I talk to Becky once in a while. I know who the others are, but we don't have conversations. And it might be a good thing to do in and amongst everybody else.
well, it'd be nice to know if somebody does come and ask us.
Yeah.
Later on, we can say, well, but we're not the oddity, we're not way higher than everybody
Right.
else, we are trying to keep it as best we can, but you can only go backwards so long.
Right.
And you don't want to stop any service.
Well, we can't stop any services because the need is out there.
Right.
And if we're onto the Title III program, we're obligated to help out where we can. And so that's part of the nature of what we do.
Right.
This was more In the beginning, it was more for Stacy and I to look at, and as I proceeded to, what I did was I just started with October, November, and December, and I went, wow, that's really crazy. And then I went, wait a minute, let me go through and do this and this and this, and all of a sudden I was, 2 hours into it. This is what came of it.
So the part is when it comes to budgeting and what we're doing. If I take and I add up what we get paid for congregational meals and home delivered meals, I take all that up with what the county reimburses us for, right? And take all that, and then I take what our deposits are, right? Just simply put, we're getting about $10 a week. But between what the state pays us and what we're doing, and on that $10 is what we have to figure. We have to budget all staffing, everything else on, and our food costs. Our goal is not to make money. That's why we're getting those money bills. We just want to make sure that we can continue to provide services to as many people as we can.
In the end, that's exactly it.
And that's what we're trying to get a handle on, right? Like, where are we sitting, and how long, and how do we continue to sustain, right, and keep going? We can charge $15 a meal if you want. They're only going to give us, they're only going to give us this, right?
And some can't.
Right, yeah.
Well, at 15, they won't be coming in, that's for sure. But, yeah, it's out of, the whole purpose is, if you can't afford to pay, we still serve you food. And that's what the Title III program is for. And so the state makes up for whatever we can't get in a donation by paying us these things across the top. And so, in the end, they are the items that pay the lights and pay the food costs and pay the employees. And this whole thing is what it is. That's exactly what you're looking at.
It's good information.
It's just some facts.
You just need to keep the food going and
Yeah.
make this be here to make sure that we do that effectively.
Yeah, definitely. So, anyway,
On that happy note,
yes, let's
What else
go on to
you
the
got?
next stuff. Okay, Stacy's PTO for 2025. Stacy had no opportunities to take any time off in 2025 because of the challenges of everything that was going on, the situation of myself coming on, the past leaving and all that kind of stuff. She really hadn't had a vacations or any major days off since August of 2024. So she was not able to use up her PTO, which is use it or lose it. And I did not feel that was fair. And so we discussed it I think it was in September, she and I did. And then all of a sudden she got sick and ended up using a lot of it because she was out of commission. And so what I did was I decided that instead of use it or lose it, I would pay her out the remaining balance of her PTO at the end of the year. And it ended up being only 8 hours that I was paying out, but she used all the rest anyway to use this. And so anyway, I just wanted you guys to know up front that that's what I had done with money. And I felt it was the right thing because we just simply could not, it's not that we couldn't allow her to take the time off. She could have said, Lori, I'm taking the time off. But she didn't, and we needed her here every single day that she was here. So in my past job, this is what we did when certain employees had only one duty and could never take time off. We paid them out at the end of the year. So
do we need to adjust our policy?
actually, these are anomalies. I mean, usually people ask for days off throughout the whole year. Stacy was not in a position, the building and the whole organization was not in the position to lose her taking time off. And so therefore it's kind of a situation that hopefully won't come up again. That's dependent upon the second half of we seriously need a cook. We seriously need another employee in this building. And that way she can have time off. Pat's going into a couple different surgeries this year, so I'll be running her position. And so, once I start running their positions plus my position, then we're all in a world of hurt. So I don't think we need to write a policy change for this. I think it's a one-off. You know,
I'd rather be proactive on it.
proactive, okay.
What are your guys' thoughts?
Sounds like a good idea.
Changing our policy. If our policy says we're not paying out PTO, it's use it or lose it, but yet we're going against our policy, that doesn't make sense. Like, is there an asterisk or a caveat in there that we need at the discretion of director, or at discretion of board? Because if I'm a policy person.
Right.
If it's our
Well, I'm-
policy, we gotta
I
We
am
gotta fix
too.
our policy so that it
Yeah.
is workable. And the same with you, right? What if you can't take vacations or you can't go? I don't want people penalized and not wanting to work here because of that. So put that on your agenda, things to do.
I'll do that.
I think we should change it.
Okay. I'll come up with something, send it to you guys, and we'll discuss it at the next meeting.
With a maximum though, I think some
Well, there has-
businesses
yeah.
get in that thing where people can't never take their vacation, they save it and they retire. And
Oh,
for
no.
20 years, they've been
We're not
building
doing that.
vacation, and now they're taking on the vacation at their top salary, but there has to be a caveat, a maximum of what they carry over or get paid out at the current thing.
I will write something up. You guys can say yea or nay. Okay. Sounds good. Oh, let's see here. The cooler that we have inside that room over there went out on us twice. Once we lost all the food in it. The second time we caught it before we went home and managed to, between Stacy's house and our refrigerator in the back, we managed to save everything. And then the third time was just recently, less than 2 weeks ago. It went out, and it just so happened that River City was here in town, and they ran over and looked at it. Determined that it was the condenser, but more than likely it was leaking the gas or the freon, whatever they call that stuff that makes it cool. Freon. And anyway, so he refilled it, and it started working again, and by 5 o'clock that night, it was up to 55 degrees and completely shut down. So I started searching for a new one, and we did find one, and we did replace it. It was brought in on Monday and put into the building on Tuesday. And I guess I can hop down to the new business part, because I'll just tell you, it was $2,510. And then I'll still have a labor bill from River City for bringing it in, hooking it all up. And let me just say, that was a bugger of a time, getting it through those doors and stuff. So I was glad that they came in and did it for us. So that happened all this last month, or during this month actually. And then we had a small problem 3 Wednesdays ago, where some people in our congregate here said some very inappropriate and rude, nasty, not very nice stuff to Stacy. And she's taken it in the past, and as I sent my letter to you all, she did not feel that she had the right to talk back to people that were paying her wages. And so she gave me her notice the next day, something that we obviously could not afford to handle here. And due to the fact that she and I sat down and talked, my email that she read that I sent to all of you, and our new policy of you don't have to put up with that kind of crap, she said, okay, I will stay, but it's got to stick. You've got to talk to them. And so the following Wednesday, I sat down with everybody that was here, and we had a very frank discussion, and I presented them all with a new conduct policy for people that come into our building that receive food from us. I reached out to Burley County, the agency there, because they're over the top of us, and she gave me their code of conduct. She was surprised that we didn't have one. And she also gave me the 5 other counties that she takes care of also, their code of conducts. And so we made up a code of conduct, and that's in your package, on down the ways here. And I don't need you guys to vote on it so much as I need, let's see, do I need you to vote on it? What did I do with that? I think you just have to sign off on it, that it's true, but I think maybe you guys should vote on it. I think so. It's putting it into, it's called a code of conduct.
Did you have it in there, please?
Oh, I have the signature
I think
page.
so.
Yeah.
You have it?
So there's so many papers in it.
Yeah. We'll give you a reading for next week. Okay, so you have the code of conduct. It looks like this. And then what I have is the second page to it. Yeah, that has a place for all of you to sign if you're approving this code of conduct for our people. You were here. Thankfully, Kathy did come that day when I was doing it. And we had some good conversations after I laid out on the line what we were meeting for, and some good give and take back of what they expected of me, which was interesting. And so and I'll flat out tell you guys, they wanted me to sit and eat lunch with them all the time. I don't have time to do that. But that's the big hang up about me, was that I will not come out and sit down and eat lunch with them. I do, but I don't do it every day. And I have other things to do, and it's my lunchtime. I'm gonna spend my lunch the way I want to spend my lunch. So anyway, I put that out to them. That's one of those conditions where you're not gonna be a winner in it, and I'm not gonna come out looking pretty. It's just one of those facts of life that's what they wanted from me, and that seemed to be their big hang. And I don't know if I ever got a real point across, but
Do you think they just feel like, in general, like they're being neglected?
well, because the last director and Stacy always sat down with them at lunchtime and ate, they took their lunch at that time. What they don't understand is that I can't eat a whole lunch in one sitting. I just can't do it. So it takes me about 45 minutes for my system to eat a lunch. So I'm usually eating it cold back in my office. And so for me to come out and sit down and just stare at people and things, I have so much more stuff to do than that. But I am now making it a point that once a week, sometime during the week, I will sit down and have lunch with them. That will be my new goal for me. And I had a very productive day with everybody. Reached out to one of the ladies that wasn't here that Wednesday that we all had a talk, and we came away with a lot more respect than we had before for each other. So I think that the policies of the past were so lax, and they're used to doing whatever they darn well please, and they don't get to do that anymore, And so it's hard for them to understand why there has to be a change when it was working so well before. And I understand what they're saying, but at the same time, I can't compromise what you guys set up as a goal for us to do with this new setup. We are to follow the rules. We're to make this a place where people can come and eat and have good food, nutritional food, and they want entertainment, and I'm not it. So,
I think some of it is, in the past, senior centers were run by a club, and it was their club, and they had a president, and they made their own rules. Well, the clubs don't exist anymore because the people that had the clubs have passed away, and I don't think that people want to do that anymore. The senior center concept started in the 1960s, and when in 1960 you were old at 65, and now they expect us to work till 70 at least before you can retire, and so everything has changed. And so, and the steel clubs were disbanded not too many years ago. The Tuttle clubs are disbanded. Robinson had a club till there was about 2 left and 3 left. And so it kind of abruptly got changed really quick. But I don't know, I think we're still finding our way as to what
That was
senior
brought up.
services look like now, or senior center services look like now. And I think it'll take a while for us to figure that out.
Well, that was brought up during this talk that we had on that Wednesday. And the person that brought it up made it sound like they owned the building and they ran the building and stuff. And so basically I explained to them how it now runs. It's no longer a club. We pay the bills. We go out and find grants. We go out and make sure that money is coming in and stuff so that these places can run and stay afloat. And that it's not a club. It's a place for you to come. And they said, well, we don't play cards anymore. Okay, I'm dragging this out. I said, there's 6 decks of cards over there. Nobody pulls them out. I said, I'm not going to bring out cards every day for you guys to play, and nobody's going to play them. If you want to play cards, take it upon yourself to go play cards.
You know, you can stay here till 5 o'clock.
I told them, yeah, you can stay here till 5 o'clock. I don't care. You know. But so anyway, it was an eye opener for them to see it from a different viewpoint. It was an eye opener for me to see it from their viewpoint of what they expected of me. And I'll tell you, the last week has been very nice around here. It really has. It's been much more enjoyable. So I think we found some common ground. And this conduct policy, I think, will provide the respect that my employees deserve. And, you know, basically, that's all I'm asking of you guys is to read it and approve it, and it's policy.
And I think that brings a whole other conversation that I don't know whose job it is to have. But how do you get senior center active? How do you get volunteer participation?
Well, that's,
How do we do those things?
that's what I asked him that day. I said, we need your help. You know,
And in the perfect world, we get rid of the us versus them,
yeah.
ours versus that, you know. But there has to be some line to it, right?
And every senior center back in the day had their own identity. They were so different between them. Some played peanuts, some played rook, some played pool. Other thought that was not a good thing to do. And they just had such different personalities. But that was back in the time where each town had their own identity. Each town had their own school. And that's a long time ago.
And that's definitely got the school thing.
Yeah.
Okay. So anyway, this
But I
is,
agree, right?
if you have anything that we want to cross off on this or add to it, that's fine. This is why it's here. And we can either vote tonight or we can vote in February. Either way is fine. If you want to take time to digest it.
It's truly really general.
Yeah.
There isn't any big, it's just pretty much respect on both sides and,
That's what it is.
you know,
And I have to say, I've got it onto one page. Burley County, Agewell, has 2.5 pages. It was just like too many rules and regulations. So we basically, like you said, we boiled it down to respect.
I personally, like, the hard thing for me is words like good hygiene, because you're idea of good hygiene. I don't like things that are so subjective. I like more objective. But like you said, then you have 5 pages describing the scent of your deodorant, you know, and whatever, and
Oh, you're right.
you can't do that. So, anybody, do we want to table this till next month, or do you guys want to make a motion and approve it today? I got a voice second. And a second. Any further discussion? Any discussion? Any further discussion? All those in favor? Opposed, same sign?
I will pass this down the line. You can sign it, and then it will be put into our policies. Okay, I do not have the ridership report today. But what I do have is some paperwork for us to be going through that are requirements for the grants. My grants were all accepted on the right dates. They were turned in on time and accepted. But they wanted me to update some of the things that we have in what's called Black Cat, the DOT's software program that we enter everything into. And so what they need from us is they need signatures on some paperwork, and in other paperwork, they simply need to know that there's minutes covering that we've talked about this and that we are in agreement that these things are part of our policies or part of our DOT work. And so what you have on the first one is called a cost allocation plan certificate nonprofit. You guys don't have this. This is just one that I'm going to pass around, but here is the actual reading of it. And this was written up by Dave Gertie, and he helped me out on this because he's very knowledgeable about it. And so what this does, and the change that we had to make was, on the second paragraph, it says both the nutrition program and the transit program are run separately. That was a requirement that DOT wanted. They wanted wording that said, we do not run the two together. So that's in there. The director's portion and wages are allocated across both programs with a time split of 40% for nutrition and 60% for transit. I have changed that because I realize that 90% of my time is spent on transit, and the rest is wherever Stacy needs me or whatever bills have to be paid for the general good of everybody. So
previously it was split though with 40% transit
yeah.
and 60% nutrition.
So this allows us to bring in more funds from the state as far as my wages go. I was only able to claim, let's say I make $1,000, 400 of it was accounted for transit and then the other 600 for nutrition. So that means when I put in my money into the Black Cat, they would only pay for a portion of that 40%. And now they're only paying a portion of the 60, but it's at a higher rate of 60% for me. So anyway, I talked long and hard with my transit guy, Ryan, and this is the sentences that I need to make it so that they will accept me charging transit 60% of the wage. And everything else in here, they are in complete agreement with. They just needed this sentence right here, and then they needed signatures from everybody to go for the final page. So that's where we're at. The cost allocation plan was accepted. They wanted this changed, and they want signatures.
And to clarify, you're not getting paid any more money, it's just the,
No,
where we're
no,
taking
just
the
getting
money
more
from.
money.
it's just a division of a check is written to, I get 2 checks every month. I get 1 salary, 1 wage. And whatever that total is, 60% of it is now paid for by the transit account, and 40% is now paid for by nutrition. And I can't do that split until this is signed, and then they will accept that split.
You have to have that as a motion?
I don't know if it has to be a motion. I think it just has to be the fact that this is what you guys are doing, because this isn't a policy or a plan. This is an allocation of how we do funds. So I mean, if you guys want to vote on it. But all these things that we're talking about and signing, Autumn, I need to have those written into the minutes,
Okay.
so that when I submit the minutes to the DOT, they have knowledge that all these things were talked about and approved.
Okay.
Okay, so the next thing is called the single audit certification. This simply has to be put into the minutes that my signature is here, and you guys don't have it, it's just this page right here, and I can pass it around. What it's doing is it's allowing me to sign all of the grants that I have with the DOT. And so I signed this as the person that is the representative that you guys, part of my job, assigned me to. But it now has to be at least written up in the minutes that it has been talked about and discussed, and that you guys are okay with it.
And I actually feel that I would like a motion
Okay.
to accept the cost allocation plan, the plan of certificate, the procurement plan with the adoption and procurement of the officer designations, the maintenance plan, and the single audit certification that allows her to handle finances with transit.
And so what Paula just mentioned are all the things that I have behind this piece of paper. Here's the procurement plan, which was signed. And then I need just simply on the maintenance, fleet maintenance, I just need the president's signature on that. This is the fleet maintenance plan directly from the DOT, put on our letterhead, so to speak, and adding the president's signature to it. That has been accepted.
So which one of these do you most like? Nutrition or?
Truthfully, we get far more money from transit.
Nutrition. Because the cost allocation plan, I think the problem I have with is that a lot of times you're spending on nutrition.
Yeah.
That's my problem.
You mean as far as the 40/60 goes?
Right.
Well, if you look at what I do, I don't do any cooking unless Stacy says, "Lori, get in here." Okay, so it's not an everyday thing. I go through all the bills. I take care of everything that is what I call middle ground, rent, all that kind of stuff. Whatever it is that your normal bills are, I take care of that. My time is split between that. It's cost out. And then, but if you look at the amount of hours that I spend with all the paperwork that the DOT has for me, it's definitely a 60% of my time. Yeah,
That's my question.
it's more than 60% of my time, to tell you the truth. Got that. The fleet maintenance plan just needs Paula's signature, and then we have to have, I guess you want to vote on.
I would like this all approved, just so it's in the minutes.
Yes, that's what we're doing, because I have to submit that to them.
Yeah, we'll have to approve this if we can, so.
Yeah.
We don't want you to get in trouble because we didn't.
We want those grants, you know? They were all accepted, by the way. I was so excited about it. Every day I was checking to see if we got our final approval from the people doing it, and then I found out they don't even do it until April. Every day I was checking it to see if we got it passed, you know? And then I was saying to Ryan one day, I said, "Well, when do I find out?" He goes, "Not till April, or we can't get together till then." I'm just like, geez, please.
So do I have a motion to accept the cost allocation plan and certificate of plan?
So,
Is there a second?
Yes.
Any further discussion? Any further discussion? Hearing no discussion, all those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? Motion carries. Do I have a motion to accept the procurement plan adoption of procurement officer designation?
so
Is there a second?
I said,
Any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? Hearing no further discussion, all those in favor?
I
Opposed, same sign. Hearing no opposition, motion carries. Is there a motion to approve the vehicle maintenance plan?
Fleet.
Fleet maintenance plan. Fleet. I thought that was a big deal when I paid fleet insurance for the bar. It's not.
Big check.
Oh, keeping track of registrations, I thought it was that easy all in one month. Okay, do I have a motion to approve the fleet?
I so moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? Any further discussion? Hearing no discussion, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. No opposition, motion carries. Then do I have a motion to approve the single audit clarification allowing Lori to deal with the transit and make all decisions with transit authority?
What it means is I have the right to sign all the grants that we're putting in for. So,
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Any discussion? Any discussion? Hearing no further discussion, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposition, same sign. Motion carries. Okay. It's more motions than I wanted.
I know, that was exhausting.
Okay. Anything else, Lori, with transit?
No, that's it. Okay.
The only thing I want to make sure we keep on our radar with both nutrition and transit, and it's going to be almost the rural health transformation plan that's coming out there. Make sure Dave Girding, our grant guy, is have his ear to the ground because there's money in there for nutrition
Yes,
and there's
he's
money in
already,
there for transit. Okay,
he's on it already.
it's going to be kind of free. Like,
Yeah.
I think there's going to be so many people waiting, and it can't be
Oh, I'm sure.
because that, but if there's,
I'll
if
tell
it'll
you
help us
something.
for a year or two
Yeah.
with some things till we get underneath, but we can't depend upon it, and who knows if it's even come next year, right? Like, I think if we can get some good meat out of the deal, we get good meat. But
He makes, the way he writes up grants and stuff and the wording that he uses, we look brilliant. So I just want you guys to know that. It's very impressive.
all right, old business, 3-compartment sink.
Oh, that's right, that's still on there, isn't it? It's in. I'm still having problems with the drain, but we will wait to see with this next grant, and if we get it, whether or not we're able to fix it on grant money or have to shell out some money.
Sink really looks nice.
Yeah, I mean, it does its job, it works and everything. It's still just having a drain flow problem. And, so,
Is there any help from the owners of the building?
Yeah, I think at the last meeting, they said they would cover the cost.
yes, they are. And the thing that we're waiting on, and I say this very, very carefully, this grant that they've put in for is to restructure how the kitchen looks. And part of that is all the plumbing, which looks like a rat trap back there. A maze of pipes going back and forth. And that grant will cover all of that. The county has to come up with a portion of it because it is their building. And so all three of them already know about this. It's not being discussed yet until we get the final amount of what they need to come up with. But they know that this grant would help with every bit of plumbing that's in here. I mean, it takes 10 minutes for the women's bathroom to get hot water. And it's sitting right next to the hot water tank. And I can't figure that out. But so anyway, it's in great need, but they would far rather wait to see if this grant goes through right at this minute. And then we'll talk once we find out. So we just got everything turned in on the 30th of December, and we're waiting to hear back.
We talked about the audit of the accountant.
Yes.
DOT audit.
DOT audit. I sent in the last of the paperwork that she wanted, which was, what was it that she asked me? I think it was the wages. Oh, yes, it was. It was the wages paid out to the former director and one of the bus drivers. And that's where all the discrepancy is going on, is in the numbers of that. And I have not heard back from them yet. So once they took that information, and they wanted to know whether there were minutes to any meetings that proved out that these two made that kind of money. I said no. I searched clear through all of 24. 25 there's nothing obviously for this year. And I said, and I don't have at hand the minutes going back for 23 and 22 and stuff like that. So anyway, she took what I did give her, the wages and stuff for all of '24 for the two people in question, plus the wages that were paid out through January for the director and through April for the bus driver. And so they will have to get hold of us.
Van parking.
Van parking. We discovered that there was a light switch turned off and that there's a light back there. If you leave it on, it lights up at that time and shows the bus. So,
Did you find that?
No, I don't know.
oh, my problem solved.
Yeah. I'm gonna give you all the credit, so.
For label makers, put a label.
You put a patch on it or something.
Sure.
Yeah. So anyway, that is taken care of. We parked the bus back over here in this corner. I talked to the wonderful men, and I gotta find out their names. These guys come every time it snows and they plow our driveways for us. It is so nice. And they promised me that they would not put the big pile over here on this end that gets all the flooding. And so our bus will not be flooded into a pit of dirt and mud. So anyway, that's where we're parking it, is in that corner back there, and it has full light on the driver's door, so that's what they require of us. That's what we're doing.
How is the James held up?
We have our first driver this Wednesday. That's it. But you know, it's okay.
It takes a while, it takes a
while.
while to get used to another route.
Yep, and I noticed that the Betterment Group has put it on their bulletin board, which was really nice. They put it on the day before and then the day of, so that people know that we're going to Jamestown on Wednesday. And we have people asking about it, they just haven't got it used to being part of their life.
That's cool.
Yeah, it is, yeah. But, so anyway, we're gonna keep advertising about it, we're gonna keep talking about it, and keep it out there in the know.
Annual meeting, you're looking at that third Thursday in February.
The date on that is,
That February 19th.
Thank you. What goes on at the annual meeting?
An annual report that we'll have to make sure we have that financial report. And then it's kind of a like a regular business meeting too. Just regular business meeting, I think you have to have commitments.
Oh, I do?
Does February 19th work for everybody?
I will not be there.
What time are we looking at?
Does 4 o'clock work, or do you guys want to shoot for?
Autumn would be the one probably to be asked.
I mean, for
4, February 19th at 4. We have, which comes to bylaws discussion too a little bit. So it's set up that we, the chair position, the treasurer, is in the even years, 2026, our positions are up, and then one more board position.
So it's a lot of people, you guys.
It is, well, it
We're a
is,
small group.
and that's kind of what we had talked about. It was kind of set up because there's 6 of us. Is 3 years too long to be on this committee, right? Yeah. 3 years with me, 2 years, it's over a year, it's like forever.
It's been 6.
Yeah. So that was the reason why it's set up with half and half. You know, it is a lot of people coming off of it, but yet the alternative is that people would have 3-year terms, which gets me off, and that's what we set up as the 2-year terms. So,
It works like our church council, you do the same people on here for 10 years.
sure.
well, I think after this last year, there was so much, everybody was so new, and there was so much that we had to learn that, you know, there'll be a piece of cake after this.
So who is the third person that would like to have their position up for?
Can we just revote them back in again?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, I didn't know.
But you can't on me because I won't accept it.
Oh.
So you do have to fill my.
Okay. Be that way.
And I
She's not
will.
until next year.
Well, look at it, that initially it was us 3 on the board, right? That came on and maybe
us three that didn't get elected to a positions were assigned.
We were assigned, maybe we should come up for election.
And maybe that's a good way, since we were assigned the board,
Yeah, we were.
the board should be fully
Yeah.
elected.
The commission should sign.
I will-
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a very good idea. I'm going to ask that I would not like to be reelected or nominated, unless if nobody else comes. But not to do chair, just because I have a lot going on. 2 other boards.
Then you're gonna have to go out there and
Find your replacement.
Well, Carrie.
All in favor?
Sort of, or whoever, like, I like to open the process, right? Like, I think it's open, and we have to do a good job making sure it gets in the paper, and putting the sign up here too, right? So that anybody who's interested.
When are we gonna put it in the paper? 2 weeks ahead or before?
We should do it, I think we could put it on your monthly schedule,
Yeah,
right?
we could do that.
Your monthly calendar, get down there, if we can. And then,
Weekly,
and the weekly,
board members meeting.
Yep.
I like the walk-in that you did on the week thing. It
Good,
looks
thank you.
really nice.
Thank you.
I liked it.
Okay, so February 19th, 4 PM, annual meeting with board member elections. 3 positions are up. New business, the bylaws. That was one of the bylaws changes that I wanted to talk about. The only other one bylaw change that we need to have, actually, is that we have in here about non-board members may be able to speak at the monthly meetings. And then we have like our monthly meeting agenda. I have to add on there the public comment. Period.
Oh, yes.
Make sure that that's in our bylaws. So I will do that and we'll vote on that at the next that we have that to our agenda. Okay, that was it. And then director evals, everybody has their director evals turned in. I will have gotten them all preliminary compiled and we'll get them sent out. And then we'll meet with Lori in person, she'll make her comments and I'll get that out at the end of the meeting. Overall, Lori is exceeding the expectations of this board. But as every good eval, we'll have 3 things we need to improve on.
Okay.
We'll stretch it by them. But, so that eval will be coming up too. Anything else? Yes.
I had mentioned quite a few meetings ago that after the first of the year, I would like to be able to, in conjunction with Rhonda, the tax accountant, be able to see our QuickBooks on my computer. And it would also allow me to pull up reports whenever we need them, things like that. If I pay a bill here in the building by credit card or whatever, I can actually enter it in. And she and I have talked about this a lot. It would be one of those things where when I do anything in QuickBooks, she will be told, so she can go and say, Lori, you made a mistake on that, you can't do it that way. Or she can say, good job. And, but I really feel like a good business should know where their books are. And I think having the QuickBooks accessible is part of doing what we should be doing. And she can get us added on to her account for $1,625 a year. It's a once a year payment that she makes, and she's getting ready to upgrade to the newest QuickBooks for her business, and then she can add me on at that time. And then she will come down and set up the QuickBooks on the computer. We'll talk about the basic things. I have very basic knowledge about QuickBooks. I promise you I will not go in there and do anything screwball. So I just feel like we should be able to pull up reports wherever we want and not have to always ask her for something when we should be able to see them.
And essentially that'd just be a click for you to click on a report.
Yeah, you just click on the reports. The reports are already embedded in it for what we need and things that we do. But somebody comes by and says, hey, what do we know about this? I can bring it up and we can sit there and look at it, Right now, we would have to call her and that could be 2 or 3 days before we get answers. So, anyway, just something that I want you guys to think about. If we vote on it right now, she will put it into effect after this meeting because she's going to pay for the new one. And if you want to wait, then we can wait.
And would you be doing checks then also?
We could, yes.
Okay.
But we still need the 2 signatures, so it's not a matter of me doing checks. It's a matter of having somebody come in. And as Kathy knows, and as you in the past, I explained what the checks are for, and we talked about that. So.
My question on that is, will it decrease the amount of money that we end up paying the accountant because she would be doing less checks? And things will be at a flat fee with that.
We're at a flat fee of $200 a month. I don't think that, yeah, it's very reasonable. And to tell you the truth, she's yet to send me a bill for the last 6 months, and we have talked about it many times. I find the most interesting thing in my move to North Dakota is 1, the wind, and 2, people never bill you for stuff. We are still waiting for the bill for the brakes that were done by the gentleman across the way, and that's now been 3 months. So, and I call him all the time and ask him, just tell me the total and I'll get you a check.
And I laugh about this because you don't have to deal with a garbage guy.
I
He
know.
does a fast job. But I'll tell you, when the bill shows up, and I'm like, oh, that's right, we haven't paid you in 3 years.
Anyway, it will help us in things like that too.
I would say that cost that she wants for QuickBooks is very reasonable. Because personally, I think like a personal QuickBooks account, just for a layperson is way over that amount.
Yeah, it is, yeah. I mean, if we were to go out and get a QuickBooks account, yeah, just for us and get rid of everybody, and I would never suggest that because I don't have that knowledge, it would be far more money.
Right.
And this is actually, she goes, I'll just send you the picture. She says it's the actual addition that they say every account that she adds on has to pay this much money. And so she's just doing us as an add-on, and then she puts it on the books, or on our computer, excuse me. Yeah.
I think she's very good.
All right, do you guys want to think about that, or do you want to make a motion to do the $16.25 per year for QuickBooks? My only question is what happens if we don't stay with her for the whole year? Not saying that we're making any changes or do anything.
Yeah.
Is there a monthly fee
I've already thought, no, it's gonna be a one-time shot.
Okay.
But in relationship to that whole thing, if we ever wanted to stop using Rhonda as our tax accountant, which I'm not saying that's what we're asking for, all I have to do is copy everything.
Because you'd have access
I
to
have
it.
access to it. And so then, whether we have another accountant come in, or we do it ourselves, or whatever, that data could be put into the new process.
Things have gotten better with the account.
They have, yes. Things are being paid in a timely manner.
That's a good sign.
Okay. Does anybody want to make a motion on that, or you want to think about it for a month? Is there a motion to table that?
If we do it now, I get to use it now.
Yeah, let's do it.
I'm trying to get something out of you guys. I know this is the last decision for the night.
Let's do it and let's.
And Kathy makes a motion, is there a second?
Yes.
Okay, any discussion about going with QuickBooks online? Any further discussion? Hearing no discussion, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Hearing no opposition, motion carries. Any further business?
I have one last thing. December, we didn't have our meeting, and so Stacy and I got you guys these mugs, and we wanted to say thank you for being great. I have really, truly appreciated working with the board. Everybody moaned when I said, yes, I have a board over me. And they were all like, you guys have been fantastic. I just want to thank you each. for the dedication that you've done in helping this thing get back rolling, and just the way you guys have helped me navigate all of it, because it has been a navigation, and I truly appreciate it, guys.
You are welcome.
Thank you, Marie.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. When are we gonna do budget and salary?
You guys can,
Every year,
board,